What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I am back in Evergreen Harbor and I'm building a family home, and I tried to make it as eco-friendly as possible. And you can also see that I already placed off camera before I got started. I placed a debug lot or a debug house on the lot and also some debug fencing because I wanted to build a smaller family home, so something that's just a little bit more cramped and maybe just a little bit more realistic in that sense. And I also did not want it to have this humongous backyard because you can kind of tell by the surrounding debug houses in the neighborhood, all those houses don't really have huge backyards or anything, so I kind of wanted to mimic that, and for that reason I just placed the debug house on the lot and some debug fencing to just kind of close off some of the space that I didn't want to use for my actual build. And I haven't really enjoying this lately. I did this a few weeks ago as well for another build in Mount Simmarysims, and it makes me really want to have more very small lots in the game. The smallest lot we have in the game for residential homes I feel is 20 by 15, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's still kind of big. It's not big, but it's still kind of spacious. And yeah, I don't know, I'd prefer to have I'd love to have more lots that are even smaller, maybe even 10 by 15 or something. Or even 15 by 15 would be so much smaller already. So yeah, I kind of wish that we had that, but we don't. So for that reason, I just decided to place a couple or a debug house on the lot as well to fill up a little bit of the space. And I had a lot of fun with this because I feel because I did that, this house that I actually built fits in with the surrounding area a lot better than it would have if I were to use the entire lot. That would give me so much space to build a bigger house, which is also a lot of fun, but definitely not what I wanted to go for this house. So yeah, the house I built is quite small and the backyard is quite cramped as well. And I was really enjoying it. I was really loving trying to figure out how I wanted to lay out the space and what I wanted the backyard to look like. And yeah, just all the separate rooms and things like that. And yeah, I overall just had a lot of fun with it. And as you can probably tell, I did have the Modern Developments Neighborhood Action Plan activated because I did want the neighborhood to look very modern and evolved and eco-friendly in that way. So yeah, I decided to just turn on that or activate that Neighborhood Action Plan. So if you want to download this house and place it in your game and you want it to look like this, you can just turn on that or activate that Neighborhood Action Plan. And then eventually it will look like this. I mean, you don't have to, of course. You can also just place this lot and have it be the very first eco-friendly house in the neighborhood and try to clean up the neighborhood that way. And I even feel you could make this house even more eco-friendly if you wanted to. You could change out the roof texture, the roofing texture that I used. I did use that solar panel texture on some parts of the house, on the garage and on that little bump out, but for the rest of the house I didn't. So I feel you could also change that out still and make it even more eco-friendly if you wanted to. So yeah, there are definitely some more changes that you could make. But you can definitely see the house, the shape of the house come together. It's quite simple, and I definitely took inspiration from the surrounding houses because I already mentioned, I wanted it to fit in with the rest of the neighborhood as much as possible. So I definitely took inspiration from the debug houses as well. And then I just tried to make the shape of the house look a little bit more interesting, or a little bit, I added a couple extra bump outs and things like that because I always really love playing around with the shapes of my homes. I think that is my favorite part of building in The Sims. It's just fiddling around with the shape of the house. I have so much fun with that all the time. So yeah, definitely for this one as well. And I placed some debug fencing around this backyard as well. I do think that your Sims can actually walk through that fence because it's a debug item, so your Sim don't actually sees it as an actual item. So I feel like they can walk straight through that, but I don't know if they will. I did playtest a lot, but for me that didn't happen. It might happen for you though if you play on it a little bit longer, but I don't know how annoying that would be. I think it would be all right. Yeah, I'm just trying to do some landscaping, fiddling around with how I want to like separate these two quote unquote lots, even though it is all on one lot, but I still, of course, wanted it to feel like two separate houses with two separate backyards. So I was trying to figure out how I wanted to like close off those different sections. And yeah, I just played around with some landscaping and placed a couple of trees and some plants and things like that. And overall, I'm really happy with the way that this house came out. I didn't really have a very specific like storyline in mind. I don't think. I built this house, or like I finished this house last week. So I'm kind of just looking at the footage and trying to remember what exactly I did, because I don't remember everything. I do know that I went for a quite modern interior. I used a lot of the items from Eco Lifestyle because obviously they just go with the house very nicely. And that was definitely the overall style that I was trying to go for. So I do know that I used a lot of items from Eco Lifestyle, and I just made the interior look quite modern and just probably recently renovated and very like eco-friendly materials and things like that. I did give them a car, which maybe is not the most eco-friendly item to own, but then again, cars don't actually function in the game. So I don't know, it's all right, I feel like. And it's quite realistic because there are some more cars in the neighborhood, like debug cars around, that are just randomly parked here and there. So yeah, I don't know. I felt like it would be realistic for a family home like this. And I also wanted to give them a proper garage, which I turned into like a skill building area, if you will. So yeah, because I really wanted to use that that garage door from, I think it's from City Living. And it has these really, really cool swatches. So I really wanted to use that garage door to kind of, I don't know, create that little storyline where the family decided to paint their boring looking, ugly, gray garage door. They decided to paint it and make it into like a work of art and make it into something pretty. I thought that was a really fun idea. So the family probably did that. And yeah, that's actually the whole reason why I gave them a garage. So at first, I thought I wanted to turn it into a bedroom, but then I figured I could just easily turn it into a skill building item. Or a skill building room, I should say, because this house has 3 bedrooms in total. It has a bedroom for the parents and then 2 smaller bedrooms for the kids, which I furnished one of them for a teenager and the other one for a kid. So yeah, I was definitely thinking that this was a family of 4 living in this house. And yeah, they all have their own bedrooms. But if you wanted to have more Sims or more kids in this house, you could easily turn the garage into a bedroom as well if you wanted to. So then that way you could have an extra bedroom. And the house has 2 bathrooms, I believe. Yeah, definitely 2 bathrooms. It has a full bathroom downstairs as well as a full bathroom upstairs. So I feel like that's actually quite nice. That's quite luxurious for a house that fits 4 Sims. It's really, really nice. So yeah, but I kept the floor plan quite open. It's just a fully open floor plan with a kitchen and a living area and a dining area. And I wanted to keep the colors quite neutral. So I was playing around with that. I did give them this light blue or like bluish gray accent wall, as you can see, which I think is really pretty, and it definitely brings in some color into the house because I thought that it needed something. But yeah, for the floor plan, I was definitely struggling a little bit. For the longest time, I didn't really know how to lay out the living area and where to place the TV and how to make it look good. I was definitely struggling with that a little bit. It definitely took me a while. I don't think I recorded all of that. But yeah, it was quite the struggle. But I figured it out in the end, and I think it looks nice. I went for this couch from Eco Lifestyle in the blue. Oh no, I changed it to a white swatch. Yeah, I chose that like creamy white swatch, and then I combined it with these dark brown chairs from... What are those chairs from? Are those chairs from Get Famous? Or maybe even bowling stuff? I honestly don't remember, but they definitely look quite mid-century modern, and I don't know, I really love these chairs. They look so pretty and just simple and sleek and nice, so I decided to place them, and I thought that the color of those chairs really went hand in hand with the color of the floorboards, so that was very satisfying. So I decided to go with the brown chairs. And here I figured out an entertainment unit, which I'm not quite sure if I am completely satisfied with the way that turned out, but it was the best thing I could come up with at the time. So I just decided to go with these, with that little end table from Laundry Day, I think, or Parenthood? No, I think that's from Laundry Day. I just combined two of those together, and then I decided to place a little bookcase next to it because I didn't want there to be an accessible bookcase in the living room as well. And looking at it now, I feel like it looks all right. I'm really happy that I changed the swatches to gray and black. For the entertainment unit items, I feel like that looks a little bit better than the white swatch. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm really satisfied with the way that it turned out, but I do think it looks all right. And it's definitely very, just playable. I didn't clutter this house up too much because I did want it to be modern and nice and kind of tidy, and I don't know, I didn't really want to clutter it up too much because I didn't want it to be playable. So that's what I tried to do, and I feel like it's not too cluttered, but it still looks quite lived in, I feel like, and that's definitely what I was trying to go for as well. And I just combined two of those rugs on the floor in those two different colors, which I think complement each other so nicely. I really love those colors together, that like beigey cream orange color combined with that very light teal or blue or gray or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, I just feel like the colors look very nice together. And here by the very large sliding doors, I placed a dining table with a couple of chairs around it. And overall, I really like this space. I really like the vibe of this space. It feels very airy and open and modern to me, and very light, probably because of the very large like sliding doors. That always helps with a light situation. I feel like it just looks very nice and pretty and open. And here you can see that I started on the kitchen, and I think that the kitchen is my favorite space, or my favorite area of this house. I think it turned out quite nicely. I went for these countertops from Jungle Adventure because they look quite rustic, but at the same time very modern and just very nice. And quite luxurious as well. So I decided to go for those countertops. And here I was playing with some sort of like divider situation next to the fridge, but it just didn't really work out. So I got rid of it in the end and just left it open like that. And I'm really happy that I left it open because I think that open floor plan situation really suits this house quite nicely. And here I was playing around with the cabinets, and then I decided to actually, instead of cabinets, place a shelving unit over the countertops where the stove is right there. And I think it turned out nicely. I just kind of merged it together with the countertops so that it looks like that vase with a plant on it is actually sitting on the countertop, if that makes sense. I've definitely done that before, and there are a lot of simmers that have done this before as well. But it had been a while since I've done this. So I'm really happy that I decided to do it this way, and I think it turned out very nice. It definitely looks very sleek and modern, and just a nice change of pace, because I have been building the same kitchens over and over again. I feel like, I don't know, I really love decorating kitchens, and I definitely have my favorite kitchen items in this game as well. I really, really love these I was gonna say Jungle Hood. I mean, those Jungle Adventure countertops as well as the Parenthood countertops. I feel like I definitely use those ones the most. So whenever I do use them, I always feel like I have to at least come up with something a little bit more interesting, because otherwise I always build the same kitchens over and over again. But for this one, I was definitely very happy that I combined that shelving unit with the countertops. I think it looks nice and modern. And as you can see, I just placed some clutter around, not too much. The kitchen is still functional. It looks like I didn't leave any countertops empty of clutter, but I actually left the one next to the stove free of clutter. So that one works. I play tested the kitchen just like I playtested the rest of the house, and everything is functional. But here you can see that this is the downstairs bathroom. I placed a shower tub combination in there, and then just a sink and a toilet and just some decorative items, and then that's that. It's nothing special. I actually used that sink from Eco Lifestyle, which I never use that. I don't really like the plumbing items that we got with Eco Lifestyle. They're definitely very unique and they're very pretty and really well made, but I just think they're a little bit difficult to use. They're a little bit weird. Especially the toilet. I don't think I've ever used the toilet. I didn't use it for this house either. I just don't like the way it looks, and I feel like it's a little bit awkward. Like it sits very low, so it's a little bit weird and awkward, and I never really know how to use it. But I did use the sink for this house, which I thought that one was really nice and really pretty and modern looking. But I totally talked over the garage, which I placed a recycling machine in there, as well as the candle making station and a fitness item, skill building thing. I don't know what to call it. But I basically just turned it into a skill building item. And I also thought that the recycling machine was really nice to place in this house, because I do feel like this family is trying to be as eco-friendly as possible, and they're definitely very aware of their waste and just aware of the environment and things like that. So I do feel like they recycle, and maybe the mom or the dad or just one of the parents is very much into making candles as a hobby, or maybe even as their profession. Like maybe they have like a business where they sell candles or something. I don't really know. Like I said, I didn't really have a specific storyline in mind for this build, which is a bit of a shame because it would have been more fun. But yeah, for this one, I really felt like sitting down and just building an eco-friendly family home. It's just the vibe that I was feeling and that I wanted to, yeah, just kind of go with. So that's what I decided to do, and there's not much of a storyline to go with this build. But here you can see that this is the parents' bedroom. The shape of it is a bit awkward, so I definitely had some issues with how to lay this one out. But I did figure it out in the end. I did have some routing issues though. I needed to size down that large plant from Eco Lifestyle. In the end, I needed to size it down because my sim had trouble walking past it to get to the other side of the bed, which is kind of weird because I feel like there's plenty of space there, but yeah, for some reason it wouldn't work. So I just sized down that plant, and then everything turned out fine. And I actually also had some routing issues in the other two bedrooms. I think I needed to, because for one of the bedrooms, I actually used the bunk bed with only the top bunk, so the lofted version of the bunk bed basically. Then I placed a little desk under it, but I placed it the wrong way, so then it wouldn't work, and I needed to turn that around. But yeah, after the speed build, we'll just hop into the game and I'll show you the build so that you can see what exactly I changed. They're minor changes though, so nothing big, nothing crazy. But you can see that I placed this little desk under the lofted bed, and it actually kept my sim from using the ladder to get up to the bed. And it's because of the chair. I needed to rotate the whole desk. And then it worked out perfectly fine. So I did figure it out in the end, but the way that I placed it initially just didn't work. I could have known that. I should have known that. But at the time, I thought it'd be fine. But it wasn't, but it's okay. But you can see that the kids' bedroom is definitely very small. It's very cramped in here. But I don't know. I really enjoyed the fact that it was so small and so cramped, so that I had like, quote unquote, like an actual excuse to use the lofted bed, because I do tend to use these lofted beds even though I don't really need to because the bedrooms are big enough. But for this one, I genuinely felt like I needed to use the lofted bed in order to, to make it feel like an actual usable bedroom that would make sense for a kid, that wouldn't be too small. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way that it turned out in the end. For the color scheme, it's a bit all over the place. I used a lot of blues and greens and yellows and orange together, and yeah, I don't know, I feel like it looks nice. But that was actually already it for the kids' bedroom. So this is the teenager's bedroom, and yeah, this color scheme is all over the place as well. I used yellow and blue, and I think also some touches of like pink and like some pastel colors as well. But I feel like even though it's quite messy color scheme wise, it does all like look kind of nice together and kind of realistic, just very colorful. And I had a lot of fun with that. I really love those purple curtains combined with that like very like rich yellow color on the wall, if that makes sense. I don't know, I just always really like purple and yellow together, and especially these shades I feel like complement each other very, very nicely. But yeah, for some reason I was thinking that this was a teenage girl's bedroom. Could also be for a guy, really doesn't matter. But I felt like in my imagination it was for a girl, and I thought that I placed that desk from Parenthood with the flower on it, and I felt like maybe she painted that herself. Like maybe she's the one who painted the desk and also painted the garage door. Like maybe she's very artsy and really likes to paint and draw. And so I felt like maybe she like painted the desk herself and also painted the garage door, like I just said. I thought that that would be a fun idea. But I just cluttered up the place. I placed a couple of artwork pieces on the wall, and I gave her a dresser and hung up some clothes, and yeah, just placed a couple of items on top of the dresser. I don't know, I really like the way that looks for this bedroom for some reason, because it makes it look a little bit more realistic and messy. And I also placed that little purple poof chair, or it's not actually a chair, it's a little side table, I believe, but I had to size that down in the end because that one gave me routing issues as well. So yeah, I just sized it down once and then it turned out fine. You probably won't even notice the difference. And yeah, I just placed a couple of extra decorations around in the bedroom in just some matching colors, and just made it look a little bit messy and cramped and full in here, but I really like the way that it turned out. And you can see that we moved on to the backyard of the house, and I placed these like dew collectors outside, and I was trying to place a windmill, but it wouldn't really fit. So I just went with the dew collectors, and you could also place like some windmills on the roof still if you wanted to do that. I just didn't really like the way that it looked for this house. But yeah, you could definitely do that and improve it and make it even more eco-friendly if you wanted to, and just place some more like solar panels and things around. You could do that as well. But I did place some like planter boxes here and there. I actually swapped the ones out, the planter boxes that I placed at first. I swapped those out for a couple of bins, I think. But then there are some more, like there are also some vertical planters around as well. And I placed a grill so your Sims could do some grilling, and a picnic table that I felt like they probably fabricated themselves. I thought that would be a fun idea. I don't know, it doesn't really matter, but that's just what I was thinking when I was placing down that item. And then here on this side of the backyard, I placed a nice area where your Sims can hang out. I gave them a nice couch, and I turned it into like a sectional looking couch. And I think it turned out quite nicely. And I did some extra landscaping, and I placed the birdhouse. I always forget that that birdhouse exists. It's the birdhouse from Eco Lifestyle, but I came across it in the catalog, so I quickly placed it there so I wouldn't forget, because I think that that birdhouse is so pretty. I should use it more often because I think it looks really, really nice. But here you can see I actually placed a couple of planter boxes as well as the flower arranging table. And yeah, so there are definitely a couple of skill building items around on this lot, which I think is a lot of fun and quite usable. And then I placed the cardboard dollhouse as well. And I feel like that's actually it for this build pretty much. I just did a couple of like landscaping, just a little bit of extra landscaping and some terrain paint, and then that's that. So let's hop into the game and I'll show you the house in real time. So here we have the house in the game. I think that this little street of houses looks so nice this way, and I feel like this house actually fits in quite nicely. Obviously it's a little bit more detailed and a little bit more cluttered and things like that, but still I feel like this street looks quite realistic, and I really enjoy that. But here you can see this is the facade of the house with the car parked right there, and then the garage door right there. And then when we walk into the house, we have this little entryway right here, but you actually just kind of walk straight into the living area because is a completely open floor plan. So you have this entryway with a mirror and just a nice coat rack and things like that. And then over here on this side, we have the living area with this little entertainment unit situation that, now that I'm looking at it again, I actually think that I'm satisfied with the way that it looks. I don't know. I kind of like it now. It started growing on me, I feel like, and now I like it. And then over here we have the dining room situation, and over here we have the kitchen, which this is definitely my favorite part of the house. I really like this area with the stove and the shelving unit, and then on the other side we have the fridge and the sink and just a couple more items, and I also placed some plants to make it look a little bit more green. And then over here we have the garage slash skill building room with the recycling machine and the candle making station. I also placed an extra bike in here and this workout machine. Then upstairs we have the parents' bedroom over on this side, which is quite simple and it kind of speaks for itself, I feel like, but I like it. Like I said, I did have to size down this plant, but now everything is functional and everything works great. And then over here we have the upstairs bathroom that I feel like I didn't record, so I'll quickly just show you. This is the bathroom. It's quite simple. I did use this sink again. I used that in the bathroom downstairs as well. And then over here we have the kids' bedroom, and like I said, I did have to swap or turn around this desk because at first it was like this, but that didn't work because this chair kind of blocked this ladder. So I just turned it around and now it works perfectly fine. And then over here we have like a dresser and just some toys for the kid to play with as well. And then over here we have the teens' bedroom. This is definitely my favorite bedroom. I really like the color scheme in here and it just feels quite realistic. I don't know why, but I really just like all the colors and all the items in here. And here's that little knitted end table situation that I had to size down. Now everything is functional in here as well. And I forgot to show you, but this is the downstairs bathroom. So this one actually has a shower tub combination and then just a sink and a toilet and some decorations. And then here we have the backyard, and when you walk through the sliding doors, you walk onto this patio or porch situation, and over here we have the dew collectors and a couple of recycling bins, and yeah, just some vertical planters and a grill. And then over here we have the picnic table, and then when you walk through here we have this little couch hangout situation, a couple extra planters and the flower arranging table, and yeah, some extra vertical planters over here as well. But that's actually it for this house. So this eco-family home comes in at 72,756 simoleons, which I feel like most of my homes come in at around this price, so I'm pretty consistent with the high prices of my homes, even though they're quite expensive. Yeah, that's just what it is, I guess. But that's actually it for this video. So I really hope that you enjoyed this build. You can definitely go ahead and download it off the gallery if you want to. My username on the gallery is Simmarysims. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram if you'd like. My username on there is Simmarysims as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so. And if you want to be notified of every single time I upload a video, just click that little bell icon and you should be fine. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next build. Bye!